Alright guys, so I got some packages in the mail. Pretty excited to open these. I got my 3D printer and a box of filament and some speaker wire. Now, I can't put it all together just quite yet because I need my power supply. And the power supply doesn't come with the kit for whatever reason. They don't send them. I had to order them from another company. And they suggested one, and it ran about $35, I think 40 some with shipping or something. And I found it for 20 on Amazon, so the exact same one. Might as well go cheaper, right? But first off, we'll open the filament, and then we'll get to the 3D printer. Now the 3D printer that I got is the Prusa i3v, and it's from Makerfarm. And if you guys are looking for a good higher end beginner 3D printer kit, I highly suggest going over to Makerfarm. Colin over there really knows how to run a good business. Great customer service. I had some questions on what components that I should get as far as the ramps versus Rumba, we'll call it Rumba. The ramps versus Rumba boards, and he said basically there's more support for a ramps board as far as excuse me, as far as finding just more people that can help you out with things like that for the ramps board. But the Roomba board supports 2 or even 3 extruders if you feel froggy, and multiple cooling fans and things like that. So I decided to go with that and get the upgraded LCD, the graphical LCD. And then I got the 4mm hexagonal hot end that I can use for different kinds of material. This is all PLA, and I got red, white, and black to start with. I would do ABS, but I'm in a very small space, and so the fumes wouldn't be ideal. I really don't want to breathe those in. When these things are melting, they say they smell like maple syrup, so why not? So I'm going to move the camera over here and get kind of a nice downward shot, and we'll start cutting into these bad boys. Alright, so let's cut inside this and see what's inside. Oh, we got one more. And that. Alright. Inside the filament box, so we have some air. Lots of air. Alright, so these are neatly little packages. I thought they would just be kind of in like a bag tossed in here. So these come from Solutech. They're not like the highest rating filament out there, but it's not like the bottom of the barrel. They had really good reviews. And I think one of these came from another company actually. Yeah, Hatchbox. Everybody says Hatchbox. Depending on the color, got good reviews. Some of them got bad. Some, it's probably because people either A, didn't know what they were doing, or B, just had like a dirty print head, or the filament was dirty or stuff like that. Which brings me to something in the future that I'm going to print and I'll show you guys. Alright, so this is the white, and it comes in like a little box with a cutout so that you can actually just kind of spool it from the box if you so desired. And in the box here, got a nice little sealed bag to keep out any moisture. And if you can see it rolling around inside, there's a little desiccant packet that kind of absorbs any of the moisture that's in there. And it has a nifty little clip for the end of your filament. So this one is white, and it's real white, so it's supposed to stay this white when you print, because apparently some whites kind of change either darker or lighter, or a little more clear, or a little more off-white, and so forth when you print. This is supposed to stay this color when you print. So I got the 1.7mm filament. It's 2.2 pounds or 1 kilogram for all you non-Americans. And that's pretty much it. I think the hole they said is... I'll have to look. I might put it in the description below or something. So that's white. So these two brands here are the hatch box, and this one is the black, and it actually seems, well, I guess the spools seem almost the same, just about. The spool hole itself, though, is a lot smaller, so I'm hoping that my spool holder will be able to hold it, or I might have to kind of make something smaller or whatever. That's why it's a 3D printer. I can print another one. But this is black, sealed the same way. Doesn't have a nifty little clip, I don't see, but it does have like a little groove on both sides here, so you can still kind of stick the extra through it so it won't unwind on itself whenever you put it back into storage. Another thing, a desiccant in there, so that's good. And then finally, the last color. This is the red PLA. And again, same kind of packaging and everything, nice good spool. Same smaller spool hole. And this red is really red, so. And they got really good reviews saying it didn't really gunk up or get nasty. And they're all the same 1.7 millimeter and 1 kilogram. So that's what I'm going to start with for that, as far as filament goes. Get rid of some of this garbage. Get out of here, box. Alright, now the moment of truth. Opening up the bad boy here. I'm really excited to put this together. Now I'm not going to be able to put it together right now because my power supply isn't here. I could start putting it together, however, and pretty much get to the point where I have to just wire everything to the power supply and then run those wires to whatever they need to go to. So that way I'm not just waiting around, you know, it gives me something to do. So, let's carefully open this bad boy up and see what's inside. Oh gosh. Ooh, we got peanuts. I hate these little things. Now, I mean, you can't complain and say you hate them because they protect whatever they send you, but then it's after the fact. Because, like, I have a cat. Yeah, I got a cat. And my cat will get these little things and rip them to little shreds, and I'm collecting styrofoam like everywhere. So here's all my documentation that tells that I got the Prusa 12-inch i3v kit, the V-slot extrusion. I got the graphical LCD and Roomba upgrade, and the 40 millimeter hexagonal nozzle for 1.75 millimeter filament, prints ABS PLA and higher temp materials. So yeah, and this thing, everybody says that they take quite a while to actually send it to you. I ordered this one day, got it 2 days later. That's pretty damn fast. And I don't believe I paid for like any crazy shipping or anything. What's in this box? Or maybe this is just, this sounds completely empty. Maybe it's just used as packing. Yep, completely empty. Disappointing. It's like getting an empty box for Christmas. But it does take up space in there, so that's good. Alright, so in the little package, get away, peanut. What do we have in here? I'm gonna completely destroy this, just trying to open it. What is in here? Alright, so in this bag we have a USB cable. This looks to be a belt. Whoops. And then here's some actual parts for the printer, and they're 3D printed. These are actually really cool. And you know, I haven't actually held, believe it or not, held anything in my hands that have been 3D printed. I've seen a lot of pictures and a lot of things. You can see in this one there's like a a lot of stringers and maybe some support material or something in there to kind of break off. But that's good that it's kind of there because it adds a little extra cushion until you need to break it away. So these are either replacement parts or the actual parts. So I'll find out as I get in there. This looks like some tape. I think it's that Capcom tape. Capcom? Not Capcom. They make Mega Man. And here we go. We have the relay, and this relay I think is made for the heated bed. So we will keep all this stuff where it's supposed to be, so I don't get things mixed up. Because the way I understand is everything's kind of placed in their own little sections. All right, so we got. Oh wow, that's heavy. All right, so in here, this bag here, this is probably like the majority of the weight. These are my stepper motors, and it looks like 4 stepper motors in here, and I'll get in on a nice little close-up on all these things once it's all put together and kind of give you a little preview of the printer. Let's see, we got some wire upon wire upon wire, but it's cool. These are actually nice and labeled. Motor, end stop. So I can really see end stop motors. That's good that they're labeled. So I mean, it makes it pretty hard to really screw this up. So what else we got here? Don't know what this one is. I'm like a kid on Christmas. Alright, so inside here, oh nice. So we got some little tackle boxes in here. Are like my hot end and all these little nuts and bolts and all the different hardware that you need to kind of put it all together. And this one's got some bearings and some more bolts and nuts and some springs. And then inside here, we got a whole bunch of bearings. And I imagine that all these bearings are going to go on the actual rails that the print head can move along. So that's all that stuff. Guess I got to move a little faster because my camera's going to stop again on me. And this one, here we go. This is the Roomba with the A4988 driver. It's the Roomba board here. I'm surprised it's not in a anti-static bag. It might be because it's the red bubble wrap. Here's a fan and some wiring and all this stuff for this. I'm not going to pull this out right now because I don't want to put my exposed hands until I ground myself. And then end up shorting out the Roombas because apparently these things are pretty damn sensitive. So we'll get to that. Alright. Almost time to get to the meat and potatoes here. Alright, so we got all the rails here. The aluminum railing. Oh, we got another board. This one, nice. It comes with an 8 GB memory card and an adapter and some ribbon cable, and I imagine this is my, yep, this is my LCD. Awesome. Let's see if I can do this without pulling out all the peanuts. Woo, losing stuff. Alright, so here, I'll set this aside and go over this separate. See if there's anything else in here. Whoop. Bubble wrap. Alright, that's it for the box. 99.9% of it is electronics. Alright, so let me pull this over here and we'll go into this part. Alright, so these are the actual, or I should say this. I have to cut that part. is the actual body of the entire printer. So, add your peanuts. This is the heated bed that I got. Makerfarm. Ah, that's a pretty big surface. That's the 12 by 12 surface. That's huge. There's a lot of stuff I can print with that. Pretty excited. So set that aside here. The bottom of it's got a little scratch on it though. You can see that. I don't know if the camera will focus, but there's a little scratch. I don't think it'll affect this in any way because it seems like, well, I don't know. Guess we'll find out. I don't think it'll affect it at all. Alright, so all these things are, they look like wood, right? That's because they're laser cut plywood. But they are super strong though. I mean, there's no bend and flex. And this smells like wood. It smells pretty good. But yeah, so we have the sides here, and a lot of these pieces, they're laser cut, but as you can see, they just simply kind of pull apart here because they fit together kind of like a puzzle as they're all cut, and then it's just kind of like one sheet, and then the smaller pieces kind of break off here as you see, and then some parts are discarded and some parts are used. And I'll be going through the instructions, the instructional videos that they have. They actually have videos to show you how to set everything up. So if you kind of look at everything and you're just like, okay, no worry, because they got some pretty detailed videos. Plus, you know, it's 2015, people. You can get online and look up a video on YouTube on how to do something, and you can find it. So these look like they're the motor mounts or some of the carriages. Nice. Alright, and then we got the side frames. Now I can tell what some of the stuff is just because I've seen so many pictures and watched so many videos on it. Not sure exactly if these will be used or if they're extra. We'll get into that. Or like some of these little pieces, they're probably trash. But you can see all these little things kind of pop out. Like this goes under the build plate and all these little structures. And then this is like the main frame as it sort of stands up. Let me stand this up here. Hopefully it won't fall apart on me. As you can see, it's going to stand roughly this tall. I mean, they say it's about 23 inches in height when it's all complete. But I mean, this thing is pretty rigid, especially once it's all together. It's got some heft to it too. So I'm not really worried about any warping or anything at all, especially because of where I live in Arizona. There's zero humidity. We get humidity for like 2-3 weeks out of the entire year while it rains, and it's gone. I mean, it completely evaporates. So I'm not too worried about it. And that's about all I got for the unboxing. Oh, I wasn't going to go over one more thing. The speaker wire. Okay, so I got this from Best Buy. And it's just a cheap little roll that's only 12 feet of 12 gauge speaker wire. Now the power supplies, they recommend that you use speaker wire to route the power basically through these. Everywhere I looked, like online and everything, had rolls of like 25 feet, 100 feet. I'm like, I don't need that much speaker wire. And they were like 20-30 bucks. And then I just ran to Best Buy. Yeah, I know Best Buy, they're always overpriced and everything. But they did happen to have 12 feet of 12 gauge wire for like 7 bucks. I only need 3 to 5 feet or so, give or take. I think it recommends at least 3 feet. So I'm not worried at all. I have room for error if I mess up. So that's good to know. And if they didn't have any, I probably would have swung by a place that does car audio and just asked them if they had some scraps. So I'm not too worried about that. Hopefully the power supply will arrive about 1 or 2 more days. And we'll be printing. And the first thing I'm going to do is probably a calibration cube and then go from there. Of course, you guys will get videos. So, alright.